All right, guys, welcome back. We did take a break. We were talking to Dustin about his favorite anythings, and we had a lot of fun with that. So if you guys haven't caught that, go back to part 1.
Apparently they were all the wrong answers, by the way.
They were terrible answers, but hey, you know what? He's an individual. He is an individual human being, and he's allowed to give answers.
I'm the best me I can be.
Yes, you are. So anyways, we're going to be getting to your guys' viewer questions in a second as soon as I find them. We have a lot of questions today, actually.
Sure do.
All right, let's go for it.
A lot of people like Dustin.
All right.
And why
I would hope
wouldn't they?
so.
I would hope so, too. All right, here we go. Question number 1 from Garrett Williamson. Kyle, Big Show or John Cena?
Well, you never bet against John Cena. That's just a rule of life.
John Cena?
What is it, hustle, loyalty, respect?
But
Pat on my chest someday.
I've always been a fan of the Big Show, so I'm gonna go with my man, Big Show.
Kyle, you really need to talk to my friend Mike Newman. You're both so into wrestling. I swear. You won't
I
regret
won't do
it.
that. Kevin Cranberry Murphy, what are your guys' honest opinions about a Cubone deck? Kyle, you are the Cubone master. Master of all that is Cubone. What's your opinion? Honest opinion on the deck.
I actually think it was somewhat viable before, which was a Noble Victories.
Wait, before you continue, you say somewhat viable. What do you mean by that?
I mean, it actually had a positive matchup against, let's see, Zekrom, Tornadus, Apache Shaman. That had a positive matchup against that deck. Because once you got 4 Marowaks in the discard pile, they can only do a max of 20 damage to you. So you can actually win that matchup. You can also beat Yanmega Magnezone, because same thing, Yanmega couldn't touch you once you got 4 Marowaks in the discard pile. You would actually win just by decking people out. You would never actually do damage. You'd have to deck people out to win.
I think Cubone would be so much better if it just had an attack that did 10 damage.
Yeah, probably. So it would actually beat those decks. But once like Chandelure and Kyurem, and especially Mewtwo came out there, you just couldn't play it anymore. Once stuff started doing more damage, and the format shifted away from Lightning Pokemon, it's all downhill for poor Cubone.
So Cubone's not viable, is what you're saying?
Not anymore, unfortunately.
Aww. You know, Cubone was actually one of my favorite Pokemon back in the day. Him and Rhyhorn. Rhydon, actually. Hold a special place in my heart. I always tried playing with him back in the in the Red and Blue days.
First Rhydon was so bad.
Yeah, but it was so cool to play with. I don't know, I just liked its picture. I liked its picture, man. Let's see. Alright, Kevin Kobayashi. This time I asked Kyle and Dustin, how much do you guys bench and max barbell curl? Because I'm sure you guys both know the answer to this.
You want to hear a funny story?
Yes, sir.
In the 8th grade, I took a kind of like a gym class. Like, I forgot, Advanced Physical Conditioning. It was called APC. Like, pretty much just exercising and lifting weights. Midway through the class, I dropped out because I didn't want to do it anymore. And that was the last time I lifted weights.
So 8th grade?
8th grade.
Alright. Do you remember how much you actually maxed back then?
I do not.
Good.
It was low. It was low.
What about you, Kyle? I mean, it's probably
have...
just Kevin trying to, boost his ego up, so just let him do it. Let him enjoy it.
I have not lifted weights since high school, probably my sophomore year, and I could not bench very much. Probably bench more now, but I have no desire to do so. Being very lazy,
You're bummed.
I have no desire.
There's the answers.
Kevin, you would win. You win. You're the best.
Kevin would win, yes. He would beat everybody.
He could bench me. And you.
Well, dude, I mean, to be
weigh
fair,
like 40
who couldn't bench you? No offense. Alright, next question's from Josh Graham. Talk about Klinklang EX tonight. Alright, talk about it.
I built it for fun. Like, I saw the deck running around and I put it together, and it's a fun thing to do. But I wouldn't play it at a tournament. I don't think.
All right.
I played against one at the Battle Road I went to.
Did you beat it? Tell me you beat it.
Yeah, I beat it. The winning move was I hit a Groudon that was Eviolited for 200 damage with a Mewtwo.
Ha!
And it felt glorious.
Yeah, I'm just holding back. I'm not going to talk anything about Klinklang. I've said my piece about it a couple weeks ago. And actually, if anything, I would say less bad things about it now than I would 2 weeks ago. I'll say that much. Anybody else want to mention anything though before we move on?
No?
It is the 5th most successful deck at Battle Roads.
Tied with anything?
4 victories.
Oh, okay.
Tied with Tornadus Terrakion, the troll deck. Yeah, the more you know.
Cool.
Interesting.
Alright, here we go. David Vidal. What is the strangest Pokemon match scenario you have ever been in? Strange can be defined any way you want. It's a good question. You guys can take a little while to think about it, if you'd like.
Well, I know the unluckiest.
I can tell you one that didn't happen to me, but it was still the most entertaining thing I've ever heard.
Alright, go for it.
That works. Well, I think I've actually told this story before. It was Jason Kaczynski. He was playing in some tournament, and he leaned over to read his opponent's card, and he was chewing gum, and the gum fell out of his mouth and onto the guy's card. The guy just looks at it, and he goes, "Well, that was rude." Like, what do you do if someone spits gum out on your card? It's like the rudest thing in the world.
Alright.
It was an accident, but it's still really funny.
Probably wins as being one of the strangest things I've ever seen, or you've ever seen.
Crim, I think you have one where the guy swatted the fly.
I've been in too many situations. Yeah, alright, I'll talk about that one, because that one's pretty funny. Have I already told that one before?
Yeah, you told it once.
Yeah. Alright, well, yeah,
Swat
real
your
quickly. Guy swats my deck, trying to swat a fly. My deck flies all over the place, and they try to double DQ us. I don't know how that works.
Double DQ.
Yeah. I'm
what
sitting
did you
there
have
just.
to do with it?
I literally did nothing. I was in the process of winning. I think I was one turn away from winning the game, and my opponent must have been like, "Well, can't flip the table because that's too obvious." So he just grabs, or I can't even remember. I think he was just I can't remember what he grabbed, but he just swats at a fly and just flips my deck all over the place. My deck literally just flies everywhere, and the judge and the TO both try to DQ both of us if we can't figure out the game state. And I'm like, well, I didn't do anything.
What happened? What happened?
What ended up happening was, eventually they agreed that the game state was something like this, but then my opponent, who clearly, he was lying about this, but he mentioned that he had an extra energy attached, and he didn't, because, that would have given him a chance to win, and I knew he had no chance to win. But whatever. Eventually they said if we couldn't agree to that game state, then they would DQ the both of us, and obviously, as unfair as that is, what am I going to do? So I had to let him have an extra energy in play, even after he swatted my deck out. And I eventually won that one, but it became a lot harder, because, obviously, having an extra energy attachment is pretty ridiculous. But, yeah, that was just the most dumb thing I've ever seen. How do you actually get away with swatting your opponent's deck and then getting
yourself into a better position?
I think, swatting
that's
a deck.
Horrible.
I think, as soon as someone spots a deck, that's, game loss, probably.
Yeah, you should have just seen my face. So I'm sitting there going, what just happened, And I ask a judge, what am I going to do? I raise my hand, I explain the situation to the judge, and then the judge leaves just as baffled as I was. Then they come back and they're like, well, we're going to have to DQ the two of you. And I'm like, what? What's going on here, I'm one turn away from winning, and this is just an irrelevant Swiss match. Well, not irrelevant, but whatever. And then they come back and give me that scenario. Most ridiculous thing in the world. Can't believe Kyle remembered that. But, yeah. I can't think of anybody with a weirder scenario than that. I love how Drew's face is frozen in this angle.
I have a scenario that actually wasn't my game, but it was a game I was watching at a city. And it was actually my friend Sean Kaufman. He had been like destroying cities with Lantern like the first few weekends, and at this point he was just unstoppable. And like I was watching his round 4 match. He was undefeated, playing against an opponent, and he was actually about to be beaten. And I was like, everyone was just kind of like watching this game, like, wow, I can't believe Sean's about to lose finally. So it was Sean's last turn of the game, because his opponent had 1 prize left and was definitely going to take it next turn, hands down. And Sean was just kind of like seeing what he could do. But during Sean's turn, his opponent actually, out of nowhere, picked up his last prize card and looked at it, thinking it was something else, and got a game loss. It was,
wow.
It was the weirdest thing. I was like, oh my god, this guy's actually finally going to win. And then his hand reaches over to his 1 prize card and just picks it up and looks at it.
That's miracles, baby. Yeah, that's crazy.
My story's well, it didn't happen to me, but I watched it happen. Basically, I forget whether it was the Lunatone or Soul Rock. It knew self-destruct, and it was a sudden death situation. So this guy goes self-destruct, knockout, knockout. Well, then it's another sudden death, and this happened like 4 times in a row, where like they just restarted a sudden death after every self-destruct. So yeah, I think that was like 15 minutes of just watching people go, yep, I have 1 guy, you have 1 guy, self-destruct. Oh, we both take our 1 prizes, let's reshuffle.
They kept doing that over and over?
Oh, 1 guy kept doing it because he was playing the guy that knew self-destruct. And it just kept knocking out the basic, and I was just like, okay, here we go again.
Stupid situation. Ay. What about you, Drew?
It was back in like a Wizards of the Coast qualifier. I think it was like West Coast. It was first round. I was playing a deck. I lone started a basic, and I was playing someone that obviously had no idea what they were doing, and they beat me in like 3 turns. Well, I see his hand after the game, and he's playing like base set Haunter and stuff like that. So I call a judge over, and they actually give the kid a loss after he wins. They give him a game loss because his deck's illegal. So I get a win even though I lost, and then I go on to win the tournament because I got that win. And I have some more. Tom used to play in this Harry Potter league, and he was like the best Harry Potter player in the world when that was a card game.
Whoa.
And he beats some little kid, and the little kid like punches Tom where the sun don't shine after the game, and Tom picks the kid up and throws him. I wasn't there for this, but I guess the little kid got banned from the store for punching Tom.
And Tom didn't get banned for throwing the kid.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, getting punched down there is way worse than getting thrown.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Tom's a pretty big guy. All right, Dustin, can you please unfreeze your camera?
Yeah.
Actually,
what you guys don't know is that I'm holding this pose and practicing ventriloquism.
I actually have a couple stories I just thought of from the Wizards of the Coast days. Now keep in mind, back then I really was not a competitive player. I didn't start playing competitively until like 2000 or 2001. I mean, I played, and I was actually sort of good, but I had no idea how to build decks. So I showed up to, it was a gym challenge. I hadn't played in, I stopped playing when Neo Genesis came out, so I missed like the good part of the game. And I went to some gym challenge that was Rocket On, and for some reason I saw on Pojo there's like a Tyranitar deck, the Trample one, where you would just flip for every Pokemon that was on their bench.
Discovery.
And then if you got heads, it did 30 to it. And
such a bad deck.
Yeah, it was really bad. But one round, I faced this guy playing a Feraligatr deck, which, hey, that's the best deck. I'm going to lose that matchup like 90% of the time. But I go to use Trample, and he's got like 3 babies on his bench. And somehow I get a Tyranitar into play before he evolves into Feraligatr. And I knock out his Croconaw, and all he's got on the bench are 3 babies. And I go heads, and I knock out his entire field. with trample in one turn. And the guy looks at me, he's like, are you kidding me? And then he starts talking to me. He's like, alright, dude, I'm going to be real with you. You have no shot of winning this tournament. You are never going to win this tournament in a million years. You should just concede and give me the win. I have a chance to win. You don't. And I was like, no. Like, I had no idea my deck was bad, but he lost the game and he's like, dude, no, you suck. You should not have beat me.
Meanwhile,
you do not deserve this victory.
Meanwhile, that same guy is looking at all the past few years of Nationals performances, and he's like, oh my god, Kame top 4 again. And he's just like, he's waiting every year for you to do poorly, but he's just never going to get his day in the sun.
What's funny is if he still thinks Kyle plays these bad decks, he's like, what's going on here?
What Tyranitar Squeagle that he's doing this with?
There was that one, and then in the same, or maybe it was the next year, or the same year maybe. I went to a stadium challenge in Chicago, and it was 14 under, 15 over, couldn't play. And this was the first time I used my Meganium deck. You know, woo! I had looked into the competitive scene a little more. I saw, okay, this Feraligatr deck's pretty good. I should probably try to beat that. So I picked out the only grass Pokemon I found, which is Meganium. Whatever, we'll get into that another time. But I realized that Steelix existed, which completely denied Meganium ever doing damage. So I was like, alright, I need to play a fire Pokemon in my deck. So for some reason, I played a Magmar in my deck that for 2 colorless did 20 damage. And I thought, I got a fire Pokemon, there's no way I'm losing to Steelix now. For whatever reason. I mean, if they get Metal Energy on the Steelix, I still don't do damage. But, like, 13, or I was probably like 11 or 12. 11-year-old Pooka was like, yep, fire beats metal. I'm going to play that. And it was the stupidest decision I ever made, but like the 3rd round of the tournament, I faced some guy with an Erica's Victory deck. And it's weak to fire. It's got 80 hit points. And I set up a Magmar, and I hit him for 40. And he's like, what the hell is that? Like, why are you playing a Magmar in your deck? And I hit him for 40, and then I actually knock out his Victory Bell. And he goes, F this, I concede. And he scoops up his cards and he storms out of the room because he lost to a Magmar. And I was like, yeah, my tech worked. I had no idea what's going on. And then
my tech worked.
The next round, I faced a Typhlosion Blaine's Arcanine deck, which it's an auto loss. It's fire versus grass. There's nothing I can do about it. My literally only hope was to send up a Heracross with a Focus Band and hope that it lives, and then knock him out, and then keep attaching Focus Band and keep living. So I put the Focus Band in the Heracross to send it up, he knocks me out, I get Tails, I'm like, oh man. And then he goes to take his prize, and he's like, I didn't put my prizes out. And that's a game loss, you didn't put your prizes out, so I got a free win.
The humble
beginning happens to be so much.
Oh, lucky.
So much. Jeez.
Yeah, it was just a string of luck. And then, so yeah, he was mad too. He also wanted me to concede because there's no way I should have beaten him. But whatever. Took the win. And then I faced a Crobat deck who just sent up a Pichu with a Focus Band. And I confidently promoted my Heracross, which doesn't do damage unless you flip heads. And then there's also the baby rule, which you would have to flip another heads. So you have to flip 2 heads to even do damage, and then you need to flip tails on the Focus Band for me to ever knock out a Pichu. And I did it first time, and I did it the second time, and then I did it a 3rd time.
In a row?
Yeah, I never missed. Also, my Heracross lived with Focus Band.
Wow.
And thinking back, like, obviously that's extremely lucky. That should probably never happen. But at the time, I was like, everything is going according to plan. Like, I expected this to happen.
That is the dumbest thing in the world, man.
Yeah. And then the last round, I actually faced a well-known player at the time. It was John Rechtenwald, Croconaw 88 back in the day. We were both X and 1, and I had no idea how tournaments worked. So he's like, "Hey, dude, you just want to intentionally draw? We'll both make it in. It'll be cool." And this is pretty easy concept for anyone to understand who's ever been in a tournament. You just intentionally draw, you both make it in, nobody gets knocked out. And I was like, sorry, I don't know what that is. And I was like, I don't really feel comfortable with that. I don't know what's going on. Let's just play. And he just looked at me like, are you kidding me? I was like, no, I don't know what this draw thing is. Sorry. So we played, and I beat him, and I actually knocked him out of the tournament.
Oh my God.
I hate you. I hate you.
Yeah. So.
Poor Croc.
Like I ended up.
Do you understand how much heartbreak that poor guy's been through?
Yeah, I know. That was
you
just
added on to that?
After I realized who he was later on, like we met on IRC, and he was like, "Wait, that was you?" This is the guy who lost to the Tyro double heads. He lost his Worlds trip to that, and then he lost his Worlds trip again to some kid who doesn't know how to intentionally draw. So,
you're a jerk.
That was just a tournament full of surprises.
Some kid who doesn't.
Good job.
Thank you.
Well done, man. Congratulations. You're a dream crusher.
I trolled like 5 people one day, but then Tom Dozel actually knocked me out. He got the last laugh on me.
Oh.
That's how Tom gets his Worlds invites. He plays noobs all day.
Yeah, I shuffled my hand with Clef and I didn't flip for the baby rule.
Oh!
That's the worst penalty in the world.
What a heartbreaker.
Yeah, I actually, if I didn't do that, I think I would have went to Worlds that year.
What year was it?
2002.
It's probably a good thing, though. Like, if you think about it, you would have been so embarrassed at Worlds. Not
man.
Coming close to winning a single game, and then you would have probably quit the game.
That's when they switched the format to Neo on.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been on even ground.
Tyranitar still isn't very good at Neo on, man.
I was using Meganium, alright?
Whatever, dude. Let's just
what deck won that year? You know that? What deck won Worlds? Dark for Alligator. Weak to grass. 80 hit points. Huh.
What did Dark for Alligator do again?
It wasn't actually very good.
It got through the baby got through the baby roll.
Oh, that's what it was. It was the baby killer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. The best deck was Murkrow. Murkrow's still king, by far.
All right, here we go. Next question from Kevin Kobayashi. Who were the top 3 strongest Pokemon players in terms of muscle? And, not brain acuity. All right, clearly number 1 is myself. Number 2 is Tom. Who's number 3?
Gotta give a shout out to my guy AJ Deloy.
Oh yeah, guy's huge.
Rivals me in strength.
I think Eric Brooks doesn't play anymore, but he was one of the strongest.
Yeah.
Ripped.
He's actually a bodybuilder.
He doesn't play anymore. He doesn't count.
Whatever.
I don't know. I actually don't know people that actually work out. And I'm just kidding. I don't work out. I haven't worked out in years. All my muscle went to my stomach, so I don't even count anymore. But I can't think of strong. There's people that are just they work out, but that doesn't necessarily.
I'm sure
make
there's
them strong.
someone I'm missing, but
Tom is just the most natural brute of all time. So,
But he's such a gentle giant.
He's 1, 2, and 3, in my opinion.
Well, there's past Tom before he got injured, and then there's present Tom.
Who's still a machine.
Gino's been working out.
Yeah, everyone's mad at us for not mentioning Gino. I see his name several times in this chat block.
I'm sure the dude's kind of strong. I'm sure the dude works out quite a bit.
We're not allowed to talk about Gino around Drew.
Yeah.
It's really tough for him.
Alright, I just read the chat. Alright, fine, guys. Relax. Dude's probably pretty strong. He's definitely ripped. I'll say that much. But anyways, let's just come to a consensus that Tom Dolezal takes spots 1, 2, and 3. If anybody wants to argue with the guy, take it up with him.
Good idea.
He hulks up.
Yeah. Alright, Brit Pie Bass. Pibis, whatever. Questions for Dustin.
Oh.
Viewers say someone like Karan Hill. How would you go about obtaining a Loudred? I don't even know what this must be some sort of a inside joke.
What was
additionally, how would you choose to court or capture such an elusive Pokemon?
Well, good question, Britt. And if anyone's ever been around a Loudred, you know that they're not the easiest Pokemon to catch. You know, there were a Whismur in that one cave in Ruby and Sapphire, I think. And then Loudred's like a whole different story. But I would probably treat Loudred to a fine wine and dine before taking the Loudred back to my place to be captured.
And courted?
So, and courted. Courted and captured. Probably courted, wine and dine, captured, before inevitably the Loudred is mine and no one else can have it.
Very reasonable.
And I also can't let it evolve. Yeah.
You don't want it to explode?
You guys are...
I'm the one who's going to be exploding.
Alright. Sean Kaufman asks, Pooka, we all want to know, what's your opinion on Lantern Prime for Nationals? Go.
How do you feel about winning? I don't think you have good chance if you're going to play Lantern. It had its day. Quit living in the past, Sean.
Good answer. Alright, Brad Curcio. Question for Dustin Zimmerman. Would you like to join the Dream Team?
Yeah. Am I not on it right now? What?
No, my friend. You got to go through
the process?
Initiation, yeah.
All right.
Sure, you want to go through initiation is the best question.
Yeah, dude, yeah. I thought I was already, but I'll go through any initiatives. I'm into it. I'm ready. My body's ready.
He says it. Brad, you're on. Alright, Isaiah Middleton asks, this question's for everyone. This isn't a what are you playing for Nats question, but assuming you had the choice between Darkrai Tornadus, Darkrai Terrakion, Turn 1 Darkrai Speed, or Darkrai Sableye Hammer Time, or a hybrid of some sort, which version would you play at Nationals? Remember, Nationals is a large event. Also factor in how well each specific version has done at Battle Roads and International Nationals thus far. So your options are Darkrai Tornadus, Darkrai Terrakion, Turn 1 Darkrai Speed, or Darkrai Hammer Time.
Before you guys answer, let me just say a breakdown of the Darkrai decks that have won Battle Roads. 24 have been Darkrai Tornadus EX decks. 6 have been Darkrai Terrakion. 6 have been Darkrai Sableye. 4 have been just Darkrai and Smeargle, which I guess would be the speed version. 4 are Darkrai and Mewtwo. Then there's 1 with Zoroark and 1 with Weavile. Wonder who played the Weavile one.
Yeah.
Oh, that was me. That was me. Only one Darkrai Weavile won?
Yeah, apparently.
Woo!
Alright, what would you guys pick? I'll start with Drew, who on my screen is looking at his fingernails.
Yep. I would probably go with Darkrai. It plays Terrakion, but just like as a counter Pokemon, like a one-of. No Tornadus EX, and probably one or two Mewtwo's. I played the Hammer version on one Battle Road, and the thing with Darkrai is I think Darkrai is a good card, and anything you play with it is going to be a good deck. So you just have to kind of get a feel for what gives you the best winning percentage overall. And I don't really like the Hammer version. Sorry, Dustin. I think people get caught up in their crushing hammer, like they get the red in the eyes, they see the hammer, they just gotta get their Sableye, keep bringing it back, and it's really not. I don't think that's the best strategy for the deck. It's slower. I felt like I could just be winning the game instead of wasting my time trying to slow my opponent down.
What I'm doing,
I could play better cards that give a higher winning percentage than these 4 crushing hammers that I'm probably flipping 25% on anyways. So that would be what I played. I played the other deck. I went 5-1 on a Battle Roads, and I misplayed my one loss, so I just felt like it flowed a lot better. And I cut out stuff like the Tornadus EX was useless. I never used it at all. Stuff like that. So that would be what I would play.
Drew, I think you have the wrong idea with how. I mean, maybe that's how some people would use Crushing Hammer, but like, I don't know. I've been playing it for a while, and like when the time comes, I'm not just going to be like hammering every turn. We're like, well, I could Night Spear this turn, but I think I want to Junk Hunt for 2 more Crushing Hammers. Like, I'm gonna when the time comes, I'm gonna be going on the offensive. But it's just when I was playing Darkrai Tornadus, like back when I like was first building Darkrai build, I found that if I like didn't get the turn 1 or the turn 2 Night Spear, I was just passing. I was just like, all right, I'm not ready yet, pass. And on those first like 2 turns, I would much rather be getting the resources back that I'm using, destabilizing them while restabilizing myself and going on the offense. And then when we're like at an even point in the game, I still have Crushing Hammers and Junk Arms in my deck that I spent those turns getting back, and that little bit of disruption that I still have, even though Weavile doesn't do much, even though Crushing Hammer doesn't do much against energy acceleration decks, it's still enough to just, it works well for me. I just have had no problems with it.
Well, I agree. I use a Sableye also to get back my resources. Like I do that too, but I feel like my 4 extra cards that I play instead of your hammers are just better cards, and I don't need your hammers.
Well, so right, like Crushing Hammer against like a solid electric build doesn't do much. Even against Darkrai Mirror, it's not that great unless like you can bring a Darkrai active with 1 darkness and discard it. Like there are certain quirks that makes it good. But like I have never worried about Terrakion once. Never do I sit across the table from any deck with Fighting Energy or Terrakion and like gulp really loudly like, oh no, my Darkrai's are gonna get knocked out. Like I don't care. Like I know how to beat Terrakion and I'm fine with it. So that's why I like having the hammers in my deck. It gives me an answer to Terrakion without having to play Tornadus, which I don't like at all.
I don't play Tornadus either, and I don't really care about Terrakion. I'd probably lose like a 4 Terrakion deck, but just a deck that techs in Terrakion, I think you could play smartly and beat that without the hammers.
Well, probably. Sure, but playing smartly with the hammers, and there's no chance they can win.
I just don't like the hammers. I avoid the flip cards.
A lot of people don't. But
okay.
Like,
so let me try to get a straight answer out of you, Drew. What's your exact out of those 4 choices? Which one did you pick?
It's like straight Darkrai with the Sableyes to get back your trainers, but no Tornadus EX with a Mewtwo or 2 and a Terrakion.
Okay. And Dustin, you said you'd like the hammer version. Is that what you were saying?
Sableye, Hammer, Weavile.
All right. So the Weavile hammer version. Hammer time with Weavile.
Weavile could go, but I like it still.
Okay. I mean, it's hard to fit, but other than that, it's pretty good. What about you, Pram?
I kind of like what Drew was saying. I kind of like, I like the speed Darkrai, or straight Darkrai. But maybe having like 1 Tech Terrakion, a Mewtwo, I don't know, maybe like a Revive. I don't know. I just like Darkrai, man. Any Darkrai you can't lose.
Alright, so I'm just going to assume you said speed Darkrai then. Just because it seems to fit, it fits your little...
Yeah, I mean, I like, out of the 4 you listed, it's definitely my favorite.
Alright, fair enough. Pooka.
My favorite is one that doesn't clutter the energy too much, because I think the biggest problem with Darkrai decks that people try to do is just try to cram too many different energy types into one deck. You need to have enough basic energy to use Dark Patch. That is your #1 priority. You can't go around like playing, okay, I'm going to play Basic Dark, Special Dark, Double Colorless for my Tornadus EX, Fighting Energy for my Terrakion. That doesn't work. You got to pick something and go with it. So I almost think that just Darkrai is the best way to go. That way you can still fit a couple Special Darks in there and not have it throw you off too much. Because I think Special Dark's too good not to play. The extra 10 damage is just absurd. I don't know why energy cards ever added 10 damage. It was silly. But Yeah, my point is just don't run too many different things, which is why I lean more towards the Sableye version, because I like it more straightforward. If you can manage to make it work with Terrakion, it's almost too good not to play, just because you can swing it in a mirror match and get a free knockout out of nowhere. But for the most part, I'm in favor of simplicity when it comes to making Darkrai.
So does that mean you're going with Hammer Time?
I don't know if I would run it exactly like that, but I'm in favor of the straight dark energy line.
Yeah. After playing against Pram's Darkrai decks, and having some actual playtesting with Darkrai myself, I'll say that I don't like Tornado CX. I don't think it's actually necessary. I don't like messing with the energy line. That's a huge thing for me. Dark Patch is too broken not to abuse. Crushing Hammer was actually extremely good in Pram's hands, but I would assume that it's not going to be as good in most people. There was a span where he went like 5 of 5. It was pretty dumb.
That didn't actually happen.
Yeah, that happened. Oh, it happened. But I would say that I don't like the Crushing Hammer for the most part. I don't think not a big fan of it. But I like Darkrai. I like having one Sableye. One Sableye is enough. I don't think you're ever going to use it multiple times. And I think Darkrai is just extremely good in general. You just want to abuse Dark Patch and abuse Darkrai. So I would go with like a speed Darkrai version myself, with one Sableye, I guess. But I don't like Crushing Hammer. Let's see here.
Okay.
All right, Dax Edmiston. Dax Edmiston. Hey guys, when HGSS and possibly Call of Legends go out of the format, how do you think it will be? How do you think it'll affect the game? Also, I heard speculation of a possible Venusaur deck, and when the new set comes out, do you know what cards might be with it? I'm pretty sure we're all going to say no. We have no idea what the Venusaur deck is, or know what the cards are cards that come with it are. It's too far ahead in the future. When the set does come out, we'll probably have a better idea. But yeah, as far as how it's going to affect the metagame, I'm going to come right out and say that trainer-wise is going to be the biggest effect that you're going to be seeing, because the Pokemon that we currently have, the EXs, are just, they dominate the format, so that's not going to change, obviously. That's the most important thing, but we won't see things like Juniper, or wait, we will. Pons, Professor Oak's New Theory is what I meant. I don't know, we're going to be missing a few important trainers. Luckily, we have things like Rare Candy back and stuff like that, but I think trainers are going to be what we're going to be missing more. What about you guys?
I think this is a question I don't want to answer.
Yeah.
I would like for you to answer, just a quick answer.
We've answered this, I think, every week.
Mm-hmm.
And every week, people still ask. And every week I say, why are you thinking this far ahead when we have nationals coming up?
Hey, man, he's a viewer. Relax. Don't jump on him yet. All right?
I'm just saying, man. Sure, go ahead.
No, I was saying, who asked that question?
Oh, Dax Edmiston?
Pooka doesn't like you, Dax Edmiston.
No, I like you, Dax. I just don't like that.
I just don't like your question. And I'm just visibly upset on the show, and for no reason. But I still like you, Dax. Don't worry.
I do want to make note that I'm really excited for a format without Jump Arm, and that's all I'm going to say.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I love Junk Arm.
What? Are you like, oh, wait, I forgot, you're the one person who hasn't tested in this group, sorry.
Yeah, but I still love Junk Arm. I've loved it since the card came out, and I'll love it till it leaves. I think Junk Arm is
getting
really
captured 8 times is cool, right?
No, I hate it. I hate Catcher.
I mean, everyone loves Catcher now because they can play it. But, like, everyone agrees that it's way too good.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I think Catcher would be fine if you had them maxed out at 4 and that was it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And then same with Dark Patch. Like, Darkrai would not nearly be as good if it wasn't for Junk Arm. But that's a story for another time.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I do. What about you, Drew? Because Kyle refuses to answer the question.
I think Dax owes me a picture of him looking like Kyle with his haircut, but
I don't think he's gonna want to have
when he gives
that
me the picture,
I think he's actually gonna shave his head after this.
Yeah. Sorry, Kyle.
I don't hate you, Dax. I just don't want to answer that question.
Alright.
One rude dude.
Next.
One rude dude, man. Alright. I apologize on Kyle's behalf, Dax.
Don't apologize for me.
Chris Silver asked, this one's for Drew Holden. Want to play Apprentice after this show?
You make the patch, and I'll play the Apprentice. So let's get cracking. You got a few minutes left in the show. I want the patch done.
Oh man, we only have a few minutes. Oh.
It would be nice to have a patch done by somebody, anybody. Here's the haircut, the Pooka haircut.
It's there? Where's that?
Poor Dax.
It said here's the link, but there's no link.
No, I see the link.
I don't.
I can see it. Like, it's right in front of me, and he does definitely have the Pooka haircut going. I'm sorry.
What's going on?
I'm sorry, Dax. I apologize. I apologize infinitely for Cal's behavior.
I don't see this.
I see it, man. Just refresh.
On Facebook?
Yeah, it's on Facebook.
Alright.
Alright, here we go.
Next.
Mark Letts. Assuming you'd play Darkrai Sableye, with hammers, obviously, would you tech regular potion or defender for Mirror, Terrakion, etc.?
Who's this question for?
Anybody, everybody.
Defender?
Potion or defender? Defender?
Yeah,
Pram?
defender.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to say
Yeah,
in my
defender.
version, playing hammer, I'd play potion.
I'm a big fan of the potion. Healing off the 30 bench damage is good. You can also junk arm for it.
Getting one-shotted by Terrakion's pretty cool.
Well, in my build, I'm preventing them from ever being able to retaliate me, or especially, God forbid, land crush me, so.
Oh, no. Not Land Crush. Alright. I'm assuming you guys found the Pooka haircut.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, I'm just going to ignore the Darkrai variant questions because we've been asked them so much today. Alright, Ian Asplin, to what extent will you guys be covering Nationals? Last time you talked about this, you mentioned you were trying to talk to TPCI. Have you gotten the details down yet on what coverage you can do at Nats? Also, I'd better get an interview when I 9-0 Swiss, because that'll totally happen. You know what? We will absolutely interview you at 9-0. Hell, we probably interview you at 7-0. Just look us up. As far as what we're going to be doing to cover at Nationals, we haven't gotten official word yet, so we can't say it for sure. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to have an actual featured match area. We're trying to actually have a couple of recordings, one for a live stream, one for a recording stream. Trying to have commentary, trying to have live commentary, obviously. Trying to have a lot of cool things. Now, of course, that's just us shooting for the stars and hoping we get there. Will we get there? I'm not sure. But you guys have a promise from us that we're actually going to try our hardest to be able to deliver this stuff.
Yeah, I really hope you guys can get the finals at Nationals this year.
Top
4 finals.
So do I.
That'd be great.
So do I, because that'd be really cool.
I've been
better than
putting
last
in
year.
a lot of, yeah. Last year. Camera battery goes out. Someone's holding a camera.
man.
Crim's trying to look through it. Someone's holding a microphone.
Oh, man, that was us, what, 2 months into, or less than 2 months into being the top cut?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez,
Yeah.
we were so noob, so novice. But absolutely, I mean, hopefully we can show how far we've grown. I don't know if we even, I think the audio was just corrupted from that, because I think me and Pram were trying to commentate on Kyle's finals match. But we were literally 50 feet away while doing it, and we couldn't see anything.
Well, until the battery ran out, then you went right next to the speaker, which gave you horrible feedback.
Well, that was the only place where there was an electric socket, so...
Yeah, we were just obviously absolutely new to this. But hopefully that all changes. Hopefully we can, we're allowed to do what we want to do. Because, I mean, think about it. How cool would it be to have a featured match area? An area where, I mean, you're separate from, like, let's assume that Dustin's doing really well. Yeah, let's assume Dustin's doing really well. He's 6-0 in Swiss, and he's playing against Drew in round 7. And you guys become the featured match. You guys actually get separated from the pack. You guys have your own little featured match station with a judge there, obviously, to judge and make sure that everything goes well. You guys have camera crew, and then you guys have people commentating 100 feet away. How cool would that be? You know, I mean,
that would be so incredibly cool.
Yeah, exactly. And people can like walk around and be like, "Hey, look, these guys are a featured match. These guys are separate from the entire crowd. They must be doing really well." And that's excitement that becomes generated by something like this. And that's what we're shooting for. That's what we're trying to achieve, and hopefully they let us do it, because I can guarantee you people would be so excited about watching these matches and stuff like that, because, I mean, I would be. I don't know who would be.
I've been doing a lot of research trying to find out what it takes to get 2 people on commentary so we can stream it and then get good video for it, not just using a webcam anymore. Money might be an issue, but gonna do everything we can to get the stream going. At the very least, hopefully we'll be able to record matches, but in a perfect world, by the time like day 3, maybe even day 2 rolls around, I'm sure some of us will start doing poorly. I mean, most people are done by day 3. So from day 3, we should have commentators ready to go. So hopefully we'll be able to set that up. Getting all the equipment for it. But yeah, it's going to be tough. It's probably going to be a little rough since it's the first time we're really doing it, but optimistic for it. Hopefully Pokemon Company, whatever, the guys there will work with us a little bit because we're going to need some help from them. But we are looking forward to it. Hopefully we can make Nationals bigger and better this year. I've actually put more work into trying to make that, trying to get the stream work than playtesting. So,
can I bring something up really quickly?
Please.
One, have you have all of you seen my new proposals for the logo and like all the other stuff I've made for it?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Has anyone else, like people who are listening to this chat instead of just typing? Like, I really want to get it going. I feel bad because you already have like playmats and new shirts made that have everything to do with the old logo, and like we're already going into mats and worlds. Like, this is what we've got. But I mean, like, new season, we can start introducing it. It's up to you guys. It's up to you guys.
You know what? I think with the fact that we just made our playmats and everything, I think we're going to have to, I mean, just by necessity, stick to this logo for a little while longer. But I would absolutely love to have something like this done right after Worlds. Right after Worlds, I would love to introduce a new logo.
I should have everything together by then.
Yeah, because that would be really cool, especially because by then we should be ready to roll out for Season 3, actually. Go figure.
Woo!
Yeah. And that would just be cool to have like a fresh new look. And I mean, obviously, as cool as the logo looks right now, it's much simpler than the one that you've made for our feature logo. But absolutely, it looks great, and I have nothing but props for that. But yeah, one thing that I do want to stress, and I got ahead of myself when I mentioned commentary and everything. Kyle's right. We won't have commentary at the beginning. Don't expect commentary at the beginning if you're not going to be there, because obviously we're all going to be playing at Nationals, and that's just the way it is. But hopefully I would assume by day 2, mid-day 2, we'd have some commentators. But again, this is all
speculation.
All up in the air. Yeah, this is all speculation. I mean, for all you know, Drew and Pram end up going 0-4 drop. You know, that can happen. Pram's actually got a bye. So.
I don't have a bye.
Two buys?
No, I don't have any buys, I don't think. Finals of States doesn't get a buy, right? No.
No, just first.
No. Yeah.
Oh.
Who wants one of the buys I can't use?
This guy.
I'll take some, yeah. 0-4 drop.
Who wants the buy I can't use?
Yeah, I know, right? But as soon as we have some commentators, we'll absolutely toss commentary in there.
But actually, if we're allowed to commentate, I will be there for the first 2 rounds because I have buys.
It's true. Good point. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll have more information on that in the future, I'm sure, in the near future. I'm just trying to weed through all these Darkrai variant questions. I can ask that one. All right, what's your favorite deck that's won Battle Roads? This one was asked by Michael Martindale.
He's the guy who put together all the list for what won Battle Roads.
Yes, he is.
My favorite
Backwards
deck?
back.
Yeah, I got my answer. It's the one I won with. Crim Electric Terrakion.
Good choice, Pram.
Yeah.
Vivian Legend, Terrakion. It's my favorite.
Mine's Klinklang EX.
Klinklang.
I thought you hated that deck.
That was mine. It's a joke. Terrible joke, but a joke nonetheless.
Oh, 6 corners,
What about you guys, Drew?
Woo! 6 corners. 1 win.
Does it
Represent.
really?
Does it really?
Yeah.
I missed that deck, really.
All right, what about you, Dustin?
Probably that one with Weavile. The one that won. I like any list that also advocates Sableye and Crushing Hammer, because like no one's on my side, so it's really refreshing to see someone agreeing with me, even if I might be wrong.
Okay. Alright, Geo Edge. What are your guys' thoughts on Pokemon having formats that rotate and basically make your older cards useless? Do you think Pokemon could get away with doing it the way MTG does, in that they have different formats? Standard, extended, that's modern now, legacy, etc., and maybe have it done the way Yu-Gi-Oh does it, where they ban cards that are too broken, or restrict the number you can play. MTG also bans cards, and both those formats seem to have a lot of variety. So basically, they're asking do our cards become obsolete after a while, and that's a question I've always asked myself. We've answered this before, but let's give a pretty good answer. I don't like how Pokemon's cards become useless. I think that this is the only game in which that actually happens. Only real competitive game. That it really screws up. It screws up the consumer more than anything, because hey, look, for example, I can buy 2 booster boxes right now, and 2 booster boxes of every set, and eventually my money just goes bad unless I start trading these cards away. In which case, obviously you can, but then your cards depreciate, whatever. That's going to happen no matter what. But in Pokemon, it happens unbelievably more than it does in any other game, because these cards will never see use again outside of a fun format between a couple of buddies. You don't even see side events for this, and that's just, I don't know. I think it's Pokemon just saying, you know what, who cares? It's not a big deal.
Yeah, they did it Worlds.
What was it?
They had like the Ruby Sapphire on, or whatever it was. Yeah.
So they had one side event for it?
Won by Matt Dunford.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
What a cool guy.
You're absolutely right. And you know what? Fine. They do it sparingly, but they do it. And I would like to see them do it a little bit more. I mean, it can be just little mini side events for Nationals. It can be mini side events for Worlds. That would be a start. But even that wouldn't be able... You need to have more formats eventually, but I just don't think they can do it now, unfortunately. It just takes a lot of manpower to be able to make the sets not broken for this. Like, this just takes a lot of research and development more than anything.
And the cards go out of print. It's too hard to get them. Like,
yeah, but these things happen, dude. I mean, the thing is, you don't get any use out of your cards the way it is now. Yeah, I mean, cards do go out of print, but that's why these formats are also much smaller. That's why not a lot of people play these formats in other card games. I mean, you see, for example, Magic, Legacy players. Up until a few years ago, Legacy was just like a dead format that only like a few hundred players in the entire world played competitively. Now, obviously, it became a much more popular format because they put a lot of focus into it. But everybody understands that these formats are going to be a lot more expensive. But you know what? That's variety. That's how you get people that are, for example, if I hadn't been playing for the last 6 years or whatever, I started playing back in base set. I stopped playing back when Pokemon took over. Back into this game again. If I have to come into this, like just completely new to it, I'm gonna be like, wait, what? My Professor Oak isn't good. My computer search isn't good. I mean, these things. That's just you get people excited. People that haven't played in a long time. Producing.
Is he breaking up for anyone else?
Yeah.
Yep. I think it'd be cool purposes. And I would actually like it.
I thought it was me.
Alright, sorry.
I was looking at you guys. You guys were just like stone cold.
I
was just like, oh my god, is this just me?
Am I still breaking up? Or am I good now?
You're fine right now.
Right.
It's really funny to think about.
Nostalgia.
Ooh.
Alright. Nostalgia, that's all I'm going to say. Nostalgia purposes, I would like it.
Sure, yeah.
Yes. I'm the old school player here. I have to stand up for the old school cards. Kyle might say he's old school, but the fact is he was 5 years old when he was playing Pokemon. He doesn't count.
Saying 5-year-olds don't count as people?
Yeah, dude.
To make you happy, yes. To make you, absolutely. 5-year-olds don't count as people.
So you hate children?
Yes. I want to toss them all in pools and get rid of them. No, man. That's not what I'm saying.
Whoa.
If you toss them in a pool, they're like having fun because it's the summertime. They're like, thanks for taking us swimming, Crim. I don't care.
The real
Same
Crim
thing about-
comes out.
You didn't say anything about drowning them. You're taking them to have a good time.
It's like a 6 foot deep or 6 foot 6 inch deep pool.
The real situation comes out.
All right. All I'm doing is sticking up for the older players, man. Leave me alone.
They don't need stuck up for. They're adults.
You big meanie.
Yeah. All adults need to be stuck up for, man. We're people too.
You guys are jerks.
All right. Calm down, little kid. Ethan Durant says, hey, everyone, I'm going to try and make it to Indy this year, and I'm not sure what kind of card pool I have to borrow from. So I'm looking for a deck that doesn't break the game. What would you choose to play for Nationals if you couldn't use Tornadus, Mewtwo, or Darkrai?
Terrakion.
Yeah. I mean, Durant's just not a very good choice, in my opinion. So,
We'll
Terrakion
pick up
is...
some Lugia Legends for about $3 each. That deck.
That reminds me. Remember when we were talking about my infatuation with Raikou? What was it? Raikou.
Entei Raikou.
Yeah.
Entei Raikou. Yeah. Remember how oh man, I'm so lucky. I wanted to buy like 20 of each half minimum and just invest into this and be like, oh man, they're only $10 each half. Suckers. And I wanted to buy so many, and then finally I was like, you know what? I'm not that convinced that the card's going to be broken. So I only bought one of each. And, I mean, the one of each is still collecting dust here, and I could probably get $1 for each half, I'm sure. But, yeah, I was so close to making a really big mistake, really big financial mistake. I'll never forget those Pooka turns. Such a mistake. Yeah, so I bought like 50 of each or something. This is great. I'm going to trade them away. I'm going to trade them away for everything I need. And then I just lost.
To be fair, PokeTurn actually got up to a decent amount of money by the end of that SP format.
Yeah, and then by that time I had lost them or given them away because I was so tilted.
You're just dumb.
I was like, here's 4, here's 4, here's 4.
PokeTurn.
Everybody enjoy my PokeTurns. Oh, man. All right, Kevin Baxter. Dustin, are you going to any more battle roads in Ohio?
In Ohio, no. Nope.
Outside of Ohio?
Outside of Ohio, I'm going to one in 2 days in Greenwood, Indiana, which is just south of Indianapolis, and then Muncie, Indiana on the 17th, which is not that far from Ohio. So show up if you want to see me.
All right. Woo! Robert Wilcox. If y'all were snowboarding on the beach and y'all's wheels fell off, how many pancakes would it take to cover a doghouse?
Oh my god, this guy's so random and funny. That question doesn't make any sense. Oh, what a funny guy. God, next question.
Oh.
Alright, Dustin, I got a better one for you. From Mike Chauncey-Lesky. Hey, Dustin, how much do you really like Futurama?
Way too much. So, my parents, they decided that they don't want to have cable anymore. Because they didn't want to pay for it. And I have nothing to watch. I don't have, a Netflix or anything. So, literally, all I do all day is I have, all of the seasons of Futurama on DVD, and I just play them all through all day. From 11 a.m. today, when I got home from work, until, 8 or 9, I was just watching Futurama. So, a lot.
Who's your favorite character?
My favorite character? God, there's so many. I don't know, probably Fry. Look, I even got a little bobblehead of him.
You know what? I don't watch very much Futurama, but I like Fry. I think he's a cool guy.
Yeah, you can relate to him.
I can. That's why I like him. Funny, charismatic, nice, generous.
Me and my
humble.
friend Zach Dalton, we have trivia competitions every time we see each other. We know so much about it. So much. Too much.
I wish I knew enough about it to ask you some questions, but I don't, so.
It's okay.
All right. Jason Killo. Any of you guys losing interest on the hyped return update on PTCGO? Kyle's probably the most interested on PTCGO. I'll ask you this question.
I saw it a little bit. They showed a screenshot of it where that's a screen of the new multiplayer they're going to do. It looks promising. First thing I looked for was, can you play against friends? And yes, you can. There's a button that says friend versus friend. And there's also the ranked matches and there's just the novice matches. So there's that. So you can actually play against friends, finally. that's probably the biggest thing to look forward to because people want to use it to play test. The other thing is,
so are you
they're
losing
actually
interest?
what?
The question was, are you losing interest?
You can't lose interest anymore in a game that's now working. So,
fair point.
I'm gaining interest in the fact that it's going to get better. The other thing was they introduced, or they said they were going to have different formats. Like they said they would have the current modified and then unlimited, which I guess would just include all the cards that they have on there. So like when there's a rotation, you can still play with your old cards. And they said they're going to try to introduce more wacky formats. So maybe drafts and stuff like that will come up.
Big fan of that decision.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the future of Pokemon TCG Online. Hopefully it'll finally be what we want.
What was that?
That was not supposed to make a noise.
I have no idea.
What is that?
Alright.
Toy butt.
Surprised the heck out of me.
Sorry,
yeah.
guys, let me put up my toy bike.
I would like to see them make like no race formats or something like that. I think those formats would be kind of interesting just for you know, the sake of having fun more than anything, and just gives you something to do. I'm a big fan of what they're doing with that. I'm glad you kept up with that, Kyle. All right. Least and favorite judges and why? That's Timothy Bauer. Obviously, don't throw any judges under the bus here.
Yeah,
Too bad.
Not a good question to ask.
That's a loaded question right there.
That's why I said don't throw anybody too far under the bus
Can we just
here.
go with best then?
Fine, let's do that. That's fine. And if you have a funny worst story, that's fine too.
Plenty of those.
I'll say my favorite judge is Crispo. I'll go on record as saying that. I do like Kim Carey though. I think both of them are very good judges and very good people. That's what I like.
I like Richard Lindsay.
Rich Lindsay's
And
Good guy.
and like all the Ohio judges are pretty good. I don't have a problem with any of them. They're all great and other stuff. My least favorite is probably, I know his screen name's Lawman, but I don't know who it is. So.
Keith?
Yeah.
Keith Haas?
Keith Haas?
Yeah. He's good. I like him.
Does anyone know Ollie Fish?
I know the name. I can't put it to a face though.
Professor Fish. He's usually one of the. I think he was at the finals table, actually last year with Keith, Kyle, at Nationals.
And yeah, I'd probably.
Then
know.
yeah, he lives in Texas, but like 1 year back in 2008, or one season rather, back in 2008, he moved up to Indiana and he was there and he ran some tournaments for like a few months and it was great. He was just a great guy, and he knows a lot about the game.
Cool.
Yeah, I guess I'll give a shout out to the VA TO who goes and judges nationals and worlds and stuff like that. David Tusky. He does a good job. Never had a problem with him. Yeah.
In my area, we were plagued for a long time by bad judges. We actually had a store called Pastimes in Illinois that was just notorious for holding like the worst tournaments in the world. They would purposely book like other tournaments on the same day as big Pokemon events. Like they would just have Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh going at the same time as like a gym challenge, and there would consistently be like no space for Pokemon players, and the judges were terrible. I remember a story where Chuck, Alex Brasso, he won a tournament and the guy didn't have his box, like his prize for winning, and he's like, yeah, don't worry, I'll get it to you sometime, because Chuck would come in all the time, and the guy actually never gave him his prize, and I guess Chuck never wanted to press the issue, but the guy just never gave him his prize, just completely gypped him. So Pastimes was really bad for a long time. Finally, they got kicked out, and I think Vince Kreckler was the first one to start running tournaments around here. He's a very good judge. I'm a big fan of him.
I thought he was from Missouri.
Yeah, he is. He would come down to Illinois to run events. That's how bad it was. So Vince Kreckler, he's a really good judge. I really like him. And he started turning things around. And then also her screen name's Pokemama. It's if you guys know who Maryland is, Devin Peltier Robson, yeah. He's a good judge as well. He judges around here. That's his mom. She's Camille. They do a really good job. And basically since the whole Pastimes fiasco, we have had really great judges. Jimmy Ballard does a really good job too.
Oh yeah.
He used to play a lot, so he knows how tournaments work. And man, I'm just remembering we used to have a really bad tournament organizer in Wisconsin as well. Like this guy would not follow the rules at all. His store was actually called My Parents' Basement. That's what the store was called. So, and it really just was like a dingy basement that he would run tournaments from. They didn't follow like any procedures, and it was just always a mess whenever they had tournaments. So, I guess it's improved a lot, and I'm really thankful for it because it used to be really bad. I remember the days where just they wouldn't even like have time limits, or they just would announce time randomly, which is always terrible when you're trying to play. And you're like, all right, this is supposed to be 60 minutes, and then 60 minutes passes, and they're just like not doing anything about it. Or I've heard horror stories where people like play favorites, and they deliberately wait to call time on the person from the home state's turn, so they have an advantage. I actually heard stories about that. It's pretty bad. So, people from my area, I guess Jimmy Ballard, Camille and Devin, Peltier Robson, also Keith Emmert, and Troy Lesky does a really great job as well. Everybody from my area is great. And also I had a chance to get to Indiana Regionals, so Derek Farber, he did a pretty good job too.
Yeah, Derek Farber's a really good TO.
It's good. I don't think you've actually left anybody out in the entire Midwest area, so good job. Congratulations.
And Pat Hughes.
You like a lot of people. It's good. Yeah, I mean, the reason I listed Crispo is because he's been around since literally as long as I have. That's a lot.
I really like Crispo too.
Yeah.
BDS and
yeah, all these guys have been around forever, and that just means they love the game. You know, you don't do this for the money for that long. No way.
Eddie Craig's great too.
Yeah, agreed. All right, let's see if we can get another question here. All right, here we go. Danielle Hildebrand. Question for anyone. Who's the strangest Pokemon player? Now take your time, figure this one out, because there's a lot of options.
Jason.
Strangest.
Whoa. I said take your time. Take your time, because you're going to come up with a name, and I guarantee you, like, 2 seconds later, you're going to be like, oh, wait a minute, this guy's strange, too.
What if I don't know their name?
I guess too bad. I don't know.
I've seen, like, this person around, but I don't know their name.
Just take your time, figure it out.
No, I literally just don't know their name.
I have an answer.
All right, go for it.
I got an answer.
For anyone who goes to tournaments in the Midwest, I don't know his name either, but his Pokegym name is the Pliskin 3000 or something. Like, it looks like on the Pokegym, he's completely kidding. Like, he's just some, idiot.
Now, Grant, wait, before we continue, that way we don't throw ourselves under the bus here. This is strictly for fun. I mean, just because you're strange doesn't make you a bad person. Et cetera.
Sure.
We don't actually hate you by any means, anybody. And I'm pretty strange too, so...
So anyway, his posts on the Pokegym look like he's like kidding and making fun of everybody because he's like, oh, I like this card, and everyone's like, oh, okay, whatever. We all know it's bad. But then like you'll see him at a tournament, and he just has this box of cards, and he's real. He's a real person, and he's very strange. He's very, very strange. If you've ever talked to him, it's ridiculous. I can't even describe it. How he just walks around. He's like, I don't know how he shows up to tournaments. I think he's by himself, and he just has his box of cards. I think it's like some sort of Lord of the Rings box, but kid, it's just what he does. Whoa.
What about you, Kyle? Do you have any answers?
Can I do like a top 3?
Sure.
Oh, wow.
Do it.
Well, I'll start with number 3, which is Jason Kozinski. Guy's just weird. Does weird stuff. Nice guy, don't get me wrong, great player, but he's got some weird habits. Won't get into that. Number 2, it's got to be Skylar Knopp from Florida. Nice guy as well. Just a little strange sometimes. I remember we were playing poker one night at the Florida Marathon, and I was actually really sick, and I just wanted to get done. I went all in, and Skylar had like not played poker before, wasn't very good, and he called me with like a terrible hand. I was bluffing, and he flips over his hand, and he like tries to take in what's happening, and he just looks at me and he goes, "I made the call?" And everyone's like, "What?" And he was like really excited, and I was like, "Oh man." And he would wear these like super short shorts that were just a little weird.
Excuse me, right back.
Sure. But yeah, Skylar, he's a really nice guy. I like him, but he can be a little off sometimes. And number 1 is a guy from Midwest. If you've ever been to a tournament in Illinois, you've probably seen this guy, and it's Jonathan Bagshaw. He likes to dress up as different things. He usually has a tail. He actually owns several tails that he attaches to his body. He's got, I don't know what kind of animal it is. Maybe it's a fox. He's got a big helmet that he puts on sometimes. Let's see. What else has he done? I remember when he first started, he would come, and you know how like Girl Scouts or just like fundraiser kind of people would come in and have like a giant jar of candy, and then they like sell you candy to like raise money for something. Well, he would come in with this giant jar of candy and just sell it to people for his own good, just so he could try to make money. He would bring this to events.
Who was it? I think I missed his
I like
name.
the way he thinks.
Jonathan Bagshaw.
Okay.
He's actually on People of Walmart, if you want to look, wearing one of his outfits.
Oh, that's
Link me
fun.
someday, because that'd be interesting to watch.
And then one day he
well, you
took
have
me
more
aside.
names. Oh, never mind.
He's
What?
got a list.
Never mind. I thought you
Aired
had
it
more
out.
names.
No, I mean, yeah, there's plenty of stories I could go into. One day we were at a pre-release, and I had the honor of playing him, and then the game didn't take very long. And he said, "Do you want to take a look at some of my drawings?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" So he pulls out like this sketchbook, and he's got all these different drawings, and they progressively get weirder and weirder. And eventually it's like furries. I don't know if you guys know what that is. Then he tells me, "Yeah, I want to get really good so I can draw porn and sell it to people for a living."
You're kidding. That is one entire joke. Like, I know you're not joking, but that's a joke.
No, it happened.
No,
Yeah,
like, I
but
believe you.
people,
but-
man.
Again, he's nice, but that's about strange, not nice.
Sheesh. All right, Drew.
I don't know if I could top that, but
You don't have to.
I'm gonna go with Jason K. Just a strange guy. Garitsky, I don't think anyone mentioned him yet.
Oh, wow.
He's a real nice guy, but he's
He means well.
strange.
He means well.
He's a nice guy, but he can be a little strange at times. And Cena doesn't really play anymore, but he's probably closer to
That was my pick. That was
Yeah, this might top it.
What do you mean might
I don't
top
even-
it? He would top
I
it on
don't
a
even
day-to-day
like
basis.
discuss what Cena does.
Well, he's
so.
like he's a PTCGO player now.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
not even that anymore.
Didn't he have, like, the most wins?
Yeah.
at one
He
point?
played legitimately. He played for 12 hours a day. That's not a joke.
I love that guy.
With,
Oh,
like,
man.
M4 Legends. Like, nothing did it help him out.
It was his goal to, like, get as many legends in play as possible. He would sit there all day and just play, and then when finally something eventful happened, he would take a screenshot and send it to me on AIM. Like, he, for a whole week, like 12 hours a day, he would sit there with his Kyogre Groudon Legend deck and just try to deck people. And then he would get upset when people would keep benching too many Pokemon, and he would actually win by taking prizes before he could deck them out. That would upset him. Then he would send me screenshots when their entire deck was in the discard pile, and he'd be like, "It's just so beautiful, man. It's the most beautiful attack in the game." And this was the life of Cena Gaziaska.
So you say Gaz, Jason K, and who else was? Oh, Drew Gritsky.
Yeah.
All right. Hard to talk to these people. What about you, Pram?
Well, in my top 3, Skylar is definitely up there. Those shorts were just like creepy, really creepy. I guess Gritsky. He's a nice guy though, but
Poor guy,
he just rubs people the wrong way sometimes.
That's the problem, is you don't rub people. You're not supposed to try to rub people. But
and I guess the default would be Jason, because I don't think Cena counts anymore.
Cena counts.
Does he count? Are we counting
He's
Cena?
the weirdest person I know by far, so...
Yeah, but like, I don't know if we can count him yet, because this is a Pokemon player. He's like, he hasn't played in a long time.
He's a national champion, okay?
Yeah, but he's like retired.
Alright, well, my 2. I have 2. Number 2 is the King of Magikarps. Sorry, buddy. You beat me. Now I gotta take revenge the only way I know how.
By slandering
calling him out on your show.
He's really, like, he's not that
I don't know him at
man.
all. I don't know him at all, man. I just know he wore a Magikarp hat and he beat me with the most ridiculous rule of all time that still hasn't been fixed, so whatever. This is my payback. And then number 1, William Hung.
I was thinking about that.
You just don't do that, dude. You do not do that when you get lucky in a match to go to Worlds. I will never forgive that. You don't jump up. This was in the what were the decks called? Turn 2? Is that what it was called?
The T2 decks.
Yeah, the T2 decks with like Mucky EX. I had a Hariyama EX. You might not have been around for this, were you, Dustin? No. Okay. Anyways, secret deck. Alex gives him the secret deck list. He shows up to my gym challenge. I have a variant of it, which in my opinion is better for Mare. And we both get to the finals. I beat him game 1 handily. Game 2, he gets really lucky with this reversal, and his R2 flips. Game 3, he does the same thing. That's long story short. Then as he wins, I mean, I'm scooping up my cards. I'm like, all right, dude, good game. Congratulations. He beat me in the finals. He just he looks around. He's like, so I win, right? I mean, he had been traveling like literally state to state trying to get a Worlds invite. So he's looking around like in amazement, and I mean, I'm sure he was really excited. But hey, buddy, you beat me, jerk. So he's like just excited. He's like looking for somebody to basically hug. And he's like, so I win, right? And he just jumps up, does like the little ah, and he's like,
How long after was hold on. What am I trying to say?
My cards.
When did this happen? How much time had passed since his claim to fame?
It was
like right after.
Euro, yeah.
Yeah, this is during his peak.
He had just blown up. Yeah, he had just blown up.
He had just blown up, and you're playing.
We're getting his autograph everywhere and everything. Yeah, and
that's why he had the money to fly everywhere and play.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I mean, first of all, think about the heartbreak that it takes for somebody that's not even supposed to know your secret deck to join your tournament, travel to your tournament, beat you in the finals in the 2 of the most ridiculous lopsided luck games of all time. And not only that, but as you're sitting there, I'm extending my hand. I'm scooping up my cards, going like this, and he's just jumping up, fist pumping and screaming out at the top of his lungs. Yeah, screaming out at the top of his lungs, and I'm sitting there going and then finally, I was just, I'll never.
How did he do at Worlds that year then?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I think he was
he made top 32.
Yeah, I think he was 6-0. I think he was 6-1, 7-0, something like that.
I remember he was X1 going to the last round, and Martin had to play him. And Martin was actually planning on... Yeah. Martin was actually planning on, tanking the last round so he could get better pairings, so he could get more favorable matchups in the top cut. And then he saw he was paired against William Hung, and he was just like, I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't lose to him. I had to play it out and win. But Hung still made top 32, yeah.
Man.
I just remember he would
funny.
come to his tournament with his mom
Yeah.
all the time.
He'd
His
always
whole
carry around his
family.
entire luggage too. He always carried around a suitcase.
Yeah. He was
That's what
actually
I
in our hotel room at Worlds 04. He came to playtest a little bit, and then later that night we ordered pizza, and he took some and didn't pay for any.
Hey man, he's a celebrity. You're lucky he was eating
Oh,
your pizza.
that just reminded me of another weird.
That was
player.
the Newman thing too.
Do you guys remember Shof?
Chauffeur.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I don't know that guy. But yeah, those are the strangest Pokemon players we know, and I'm sure there's plenty of others that we're forgetting.
The list is just so huge.
Hell, we're pretty weird too. So there's that too.
I think Crim's list is just people who have beaten him. He's just like, who
I've been
have
beaten
I
by
lost to?
Strange people. I've been
Who
beaten by some
who have I
strange
lost to who I can get back at right now?
I remember losing to a guy in a world side event, like a big side event too, like in the finals of it, and he was tattooed all over his body, literally 100% covered tattoos. And that, I mean, first of all, it's strange for somebody with that many tattoos to be playing Pokemon to begin with. Like, he looks so hardcore. He looks like, you know, like a guy that you wouldn't want to mess with, and ended up being the nicest guy. So hey, go figure. But yeah, it was kind of strange, and that was just intimidating. Rarely do I get intimidated, but a guy with a body covered in tattoos is kind of intimidating to me. Let's see here. Let's see if we have any more questions, because we had a ton, but I'm trying to get through a lot because this has been a really.
We're out of time, but who cares, right?
Yeah, it's been a long show, man.
We're committed at this point.
I gotta go to bed, dude.
No, you don't.
Yeah, how
Brad
about this
Curcio
one?
asked when he can be interviewed on here. Anybody want to take over that question?
Never.
When Brad Curcio can be interviewed?
Yep.
I don't know. Like,
When he wins.
yeah.
Laying down the challenge.
Ooh, Brad. Ooh.
Mm.
Ooh, Brad. Come on. Shucks.
But Garrett Williamson, do any of you look at the Yon Mega Primes in your binder and sob over what you could have made off them a year ago?
Yeah.
Nope, because I never had Yon Mega Primes in my binder.
Me neither.
Every time I wanted to play Yon Mega, I was just like, can I borrow some Yon Megas? Thanks.
All I know is my online binder had quite a few Yon Megas in it. Over 20
I'm
at one
sad
point.
that those went bad, yeah.
Yeah. I was sitting there with my Infinite Yon Megas going like, well, now I don't think I'll ever have to buy another booster pack again. And then the Yon Megas tanked, and here we are now.
Woo!
Alright, Pete, Petros, Ogba Michael. What's your opinion of CMT in relation to the metagame now? Serious question. Go figure. Anybody?
I don't think it's that good anymore.
Boo.
It's the deck that Crim played that got 1 in 6th. So
That's true.
That should tell you the status of CMT. Or the status of Crim. You decide.
You decide.
Or when
yeah,
both collide, that's what happens.
CMT doesn't seem very good right about now, but I mean, I've only played it 7 games.
I actually don't
I
mind
think it's
CMT
okay.
that much. The biggest problem I have with CMT is that Selby has 60 hit points, and that
Yes.
is a prize for Darkrai eventually.
Mm-hmm. That was a big complaint. Like, it's just an inevitable extra prize that they can target with ease. So, ugh, not good. All right, Chris Bianchi, how good's the movie Snatch? That's to everybody. Has anybody actually seen that movie?
Never
Yes,
seen
yes,
it.
yes.
Oh, there's a story behind that. There was one night at the Florida Marathon, we were all driving back to Jason's place. Bianchi had decided to come with. Guess Bianchi didn't want Skylar in his car, so I went with Bianchi. And then I think it was Pram, Luke, Ben, and Skylar.
Oh,
They
yeah.
went together.
I remember that.
And Bianchi was like, it was me and Sam Bittinger and Bianchi driving back to Jason's place, and he was like, hey, you guys ever seen Snatch? And I was like, no, I've never seen it. So he puts it on the screen. He's got a TV in his car. So he starts playing it, and I fell asleep, and he won't let me forget it. So I still haven't seen Snatch. She was actually angry at me the rest of the trip because I fell asleep during the movie.
Dustin just reminded me of another weird Pokemon player that I want to lose. That's Omar. Omar. The crotch shots, man. Those are not supposed to happen. You take those away. Don't you come to Nationals and start delivering crotch shots all over the place. That includes you, Dustin. Move that camera up.
Why would I crotch shot anyone?
You're crotch shotting right now, brother.
He was featuring Fry.
Yeah, featuring Fry. If I wanted you guys to see my crotch, I'd show you.
Obviously.
But I'm a gentleman, so I'll wait until we're all in person.
Speaking of that, we will have an uncensored episode, and I just figured out when we're going to have it. Right after Worlds. Right after Worlds. The very first show after Worlds, you guys are all welcome to join the Top Cut Uncensored. It will be mature audiences only. There will be a drinking game featured, so please be prepared. Be prepared to come with your bottles, and we will all be a part of hopefully a good time. Obviously, like I mentioned, mature audiences only. Right after party, or right after Worlds, it'll be our little after party.
Right after one of us wins Worlds.
Yeah. Should be good. I think we're going to be going to our very last question, and this is from Brandon Salazar. What cards do you want to see reprinted in Black, White, On?
Shut up.
I always enjoyed POW Hand Extension.
No. You realize how broken that card would be right now?
Fine, Swoop Teleporter.
Swoop would be so broken.
You couldn't
swap
do
out
EX.
EXs with
Yeah.
Your Terrakions.
Yeah, that would be funny though.
That'd be so good. You're just like, I will portrait, swoop, boom.
Oh my god.
Realistically, I can't think of any cards really. Professor X New Theory? I don't know.
What?
Oh.
Draw supporters, dude. We need draw supporters really bad.
No, we need search supporters. Give me a Bebe search or something. Well, nah, probably not that because evolutions aren't that great. I don't know. What I want them to start printing, though, is stuff that doesn't work on EXs.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Celio's Network.
Celio's Network, Scramble Energy, just like stuff that didn't work on basics or EXs. We need more of that.
I agree. That would help quite a bit to fix the format up. But I do think we need one more good draw supporter. I don't like our current options.
Also, what do you guys all like the rare candy nerf? How do you guys all feel about that?
I liked it before. Now I think it just makes stage 2s really unplayable with EXs. So, not a big fan of it now.
I like it just because I think it's stupid to drop a stage 2 out of nowhere. The thing I absolutely hated the most is when you were playing against a Gardevoir deck and you had no idea if there was a Dusknoir in their deck or not.
Oh, that sucked.
If you're like, alright, I'll take the risk. And you like bench your 4th Pokemon, they're like, ha, Duskull, Rare Candy, Dusknoir, and
That's a dumb
Dark
risk
Hand
to take,
or whatever
though.
it was.
Like, I mean, I think that's a dumb risk to take, though.
It is, but like, I don't think that should exist. I also don't think Oddish Rare Candy Wild should exist in one turn.
It'll get a lot better, because right now, with like 3 to 4 catcher and 4 junk arm, as soon as you bench something, it's probably going to die no matter what. But in a format where you can only use 3 to 4 junk arm or 3 to 4 catcher period, your basics evolving into stage 1s should be a little safer. Stage 2s should be a little safer on your bench.
Yeah, that's my problem. That's my problem with the game right now. Period. That this has nothing to do with the rare candy. Is the fact that you have to go. If you go through stage 1s, you're just not going to have a good deck. If you have to, like for example, if you have an Empoleon deck, if you have to evolve through a Primplip, you're just not going to make it. It's just absolutely going to be a dead card. And that's kind of what rare candy is right now. So the decks are just so underpowered that why would you even consider playing an Empoleon deck, which is actually extremely good. I mean, if you look at the cards, it's
Empoleon's such a good card.
Yeah, but you can't even begin considering playing that card because things like Darkrai exist and rare candy just sucks.
Can you imagine if Jumbluff had that ability?
Yeah.
I think it's more the basic forms being too weak. I don't like a 60 hit point Piplup.
I mean, even if there was something like a 70 hit point Piplup, it doesn't really fix it.
Oh, watch out, buddy.
Yeah, even I mean, what does it have to be? 90? I mean, even at that point,
100.
even at that point, things like
It's then
Tornadus
it's weird.
EX destroy it. Yeah, like Tornadus EX destroys
like the stage ones. I mean, those are too weak. Like I always like Pignite because it had 100 hit points. That made it tough to knock out. So
but
you would
even in
always
this format,
actually be
it
able
still
to
would be tough.
evolve once you
What
got
if
the
instead
Pignite.
of stage 2s having like 130, 140, the stage 2s actually also had 170 to 180?
In stage
That would
one?
help alleviate things.
And then like the basics are 70, 80, stage 1s, like, what would that do?
Stage 1s would have to be 100, 110, 100.
120?
Yeah, I mean,
I think like
realistically, if you look at it, like the game will never be the same because of these this power creep with the basics. You'll never see the game be the same again. Like they're gonna either have to max out the HP for stage 2s, which is gonna make them at 180, 190
We'll just
without
start
being EX.
printing weaker cards again.
I mean, that's
They should.
what should happen, but I don't think it will.
What are they going to do?
Start
He
printing
thinks-
weaker cards again.
And then it like sucks because like the new cards will continuously not be played until the rotation.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in a spot where it's just not going to be. We're in a spot where stage 2s are just unplayable, and I don't see them being playable in the near future. Not until they fix this hit point mess, because things deal too much damage. There's no reason to play an evolution over a basic that doesn't evolve. No reason. You're just messing with your rare candy count. I mean, you're just adding so many cards to have a weaker deck. Whatever.
Also, print EXs that aren't legendaries, for God's sake.
Yeah,
I don't
like
legendaries that much at all.
I'd like to see a Pinsir EX. That's what I'd like
Quagsire
Pinsir?
EX.
to see. Yeah, Quagsire EX or Squirtle EX. Oh man.
Ursaring EX.
Yeah, the EX. No, absolutely. These things.
Bouffalant EX. Make it happen.
No way, dude. Bouffalant's already playable. Can you imagine the EX version of it?
No, I'm
Revenge.
talking about
One hit
talking about
KO.
EXs that aren't
Chatot EX. Just you draw 6 and they shuffle. They draw 2.
There we go. That's my kind of card.
Dumb.
Or at least give me a Dialga EX first.
Not
you've
happening.
had
Drifloom EX. 120 to a bench guy for like 2.
Oh, Drifloom. Drifloom's really...
Dude, this has been a really long show. It's been about 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, this is probably going to be it for the show. Dustin, we've had a great time with you. You're amazing, dude. You're so funny. Is there anything you want to say before we close out?
Oh man, what do I want to say? Something like important or like something that doesn't matter? I don't know.
Whatever you want. The floor is open to you.
Whatever I want. The floor's open to me. I don't know. Thanks for having me on the show. Like I said, I really like what you guys have been doing with this whole interactivity of Pokemon. Not interactivity, but just exposing it publicly, because your doings at the Top Cut have inspired other people to like start recording matches and just putting them on YouTube, which just is awesome. Like I just one morning, because I couldn't go to spring regionals, I just watched all of the feeds of all the regionals, and like it was like I was watching a sporting event. My roommate was watching basketball, and I was watching regional feed, and it was great. Like I love what you guys are doing. Other things to say: everyone hit me up at nationals. Literally everyone needs to like high five me or something. Okay, like if we're not friends. We're not friends. Make us friends. I'm a great friend. We'll all have fun and come to Worlds, even if you're not invited. I guess that's a weird piece of advice.
What about following Elevator Captain, huh? Want people to do that?
Yeah, follow me. I won't notice. I might not even follow back, but you'll get to see funny posts when I'm, influenced. Hey-o!
Funny guy.
Woo!
Are there any people you would like to thank, Dustin?
Any
of your
people that I
fans?
would like to thank today?
Yes.
Can I give some shout-outs?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
All right. I'm going to give a #1 shout-out, and I want everyone, this guy's one of my best friends, and I'm trying to help him get so good at this game, and I know he's going to be. And I playtest with him every day, and I hang out with him every day, and his name's Mike Newman. Megatron, if anyone's heard of him, let this guy be your friend. Incredible guy. I cannot wait to see how well he does at Nationals. He's going to be with me, all the time. Big shout out to Mike Newman. And then everyone else in my Team Hovercats group, we're not even really a group of people. We're just a group of idiot friends, but we're all great.
Who is Team Hovercats, by the way?
Who's in Team Hovercats? All right, Kyle Epperson, Andrew Ramey, Jimmy Koss, Travis Nunlist, Sean Kaufman, Mike Newman, Zach Dalton, Chris Calvert, just like some other people. I don't know. We got good friends. What's up?
No, I said that's a big list, but I've got a few of them on my Facebook feed, and they have some cool stuff to talk about. Really interesting people, really funny people. I like them.
And then Brad Curcio, Britt Pybus, Adam Garcia, Isaiah Middleton. They're like my new generation of friends, whom I actually haven't even really talked to in real life. But like on Facebook for the past few months, we've been like flirting and sexting, and like we're looking forward to seeing each other in that.
All right.
All right, that's it.
Dustin keeps it real, guys. All right. As far as the top cut's concerned, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Honestly, we've had a great time. This has been a really long show. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as much as us, because we've had a lot of fun. Except for when Kyle went on this tirade about every judge in the Midwest. That was actually kind of boring for me, but it's all right. It happens. He's a boring guy.
Anytime you aren't talking, it's boring to you.
I know, you even pulled out
it's boring to most people.
toy motorbike and we're like,
Kyle's wearing the new Top Cut shirts. I believe he did ship out a bunch of them already, as well as the playmats. Please, if you guys look at our website, see the playmat that you guys like. If you guys do like it, please purchase it. It will go towards the Nationals Fund, which will go towards having better equipment for casting. Yeah, I've had a great time. We'll see you guys at Nationals. And as far as I'm done, oh, by the way, at Crims23, follow me. Really funny, entertaining guy. Trust me. Just take my word for it. Take it away, guys.
So follow me at Michael Parmawat. And at Nationals, come say hi. It's always nice to meet you guys. You can tweet at me too. Like, I'll tweet back, whatever. And I think we're probably going to be streaming some play testing after Battle Roads are done, for sure. But just look out for that. We'll definitely announce it. I'll definitely announce it on Twitter if I'm doing something like that. So, yeah.
Follow me on Twitter too, guys. Thanks for watching. I don't think I'm going to go to any more Battle Roads, but I also might do some testing. I might actually have my dad come over and we'll ghetto rig a camera setup or something like that for you guys. We'll see. Buy our playmats. That'll help us get better equipment for Nationals, and I should be getting my playmat soon. Maybe it'll make an appearance on the stream if Kyle ever sends it.
All right, I didn't mean to. I wasn't supposed to break the news, but the Top Cut is actually going to host an auction to buy me to go on a sweet hot date with me, so they can raise funds for cameras and stuff. So look out for that.
Absolutely true. Hopefully we can get quite a bit of money for this hot stud. All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about or say?
That's it for me.
Kyle, want to close it?
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Hold on, I'm not done yet, Dustin.
Sorry, I was.
Alright, thanks everybody for watching. This was a really long show, so thank you to the people who actually stuck around the entire time. We actually had a pretty nice crowd. Let us know if you want any other guests on the show, within reason. I had people ask if they could have like the creator of Pokemon be a guest on the show. Obviously we're not going to be able to get him on here, but any players you can think of. European players are a little tough because of time zone differences, especially when we go this late. So those are a little bit tougher, but we'll try to get whoever you want on here. Provides a little more of an entertaining show. Otherwise, follow us on Twitter at TopCutPokemon, and all of us, our names should be on the stream. And on Facebook, facebook.com/TopCutPokemon. On YouTube, TopCutPokemon. And also, if you have any questions or anything you want to contact us, it's thetopcutpokemon@gmail.com. Please buy our playmats, or if you just want to send us money to support us, we are trying our best to get equipment for Nationals. So, for those of you who can't make it to Nationals, you can at least be a part of it. And that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.
I just saw the picture of Bagshot.
Yeah.
What is going on?